Mentorship through the spirit of Ubuntu. Say Ubuntu. Ubuntu. A little bit of in there, Ubuntu. Ubuntu. That's right. Anybody know what Ubuntu means? You know what Ubuntu means? Ubuntu means it's an African philosophy, it's a concept, it's an idea that basically means from the core, I am because we are. I am because we are. It emphasizes the importance of interconnectedness between communities, and it means community, empathy, and togetherness. Ubuntu. I love that. All the way from Cape Town, South Africa, exchanging my weather for Wales. Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is in my core. And I love people that brings the best out of other people and making sure that those people excel. Any person that is connected to you, they need to excel as well. That lady there, she's a dynamite. She's my mother. She's my mentor, my role model. She's my compatriot. She is close to me. A single mother, raised 5 kids. Dad left when I was 10 years old. And mentorship I learned in my house. She raised my brother, 3 sisters, and myself, which means the last time I counted, it is 6 people. So I never grew up with 6 people. It's always been 15 people and more in my house. From a young age, the spirit of Ubuntu, the togetherness, the community is what I saw in my house. People I've never met would live in my house. Mom, who's this? That's Johnny. What's his story? Oh, he lost his job. And so what's happened? Oh, his family lives now with us. What? I've seen countless people come into my house and they would leave better people. But I've never lived only with my brother and my 3 sisters. My mother is a person in my community that brings people together. So why I love what I'm doing, bringing the best out of other people, is because of this spirit of Ubuntu. I remember 1990. This amazing man, Nelson Mandela. I grew up in a time called apartheid. For those of you who don't know, that apartheid is a law that segregated people from being together. That this right here wouldn't have been possible. So I'm grateful I'm here. Ubuntu. But Nelson Mandela, I remember playing football in the street. And we would play against each other, my cousins, and we would play for the food for the night. Football, the first who score 3 goals wins, and you eat my food. So we are busy playing. Everything was competitive. And then 1990, my mother said to me, hey, come in. Nelson Mandela just came out of prison. I didn't know who Nelson Mandela was. But when I went inside of the house, I thought to myself, come on, Mom. I don't know this guy. But one thing about African parents, you never argue with them. And I sat in front of the telly, looking at this amazing man. Smiles, reconciliation, forgiveness, equality. Coming from South Africa, I never thought in my wildest dreams that that would be a possibility of all people coming together. He smiled, and I said to myself, let's give this brother a couple of years and see if he is still the same. 1994, when in his speech he said, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. See, he embodied the spirit of Ubuntu. I was in a place where I thought to myself that this man, he's my role model. Because racism and growing up in South Africa, my desire was to go around the world and love people that's different from me because of the spirit of Ubuntu. If Nelson Mandela can do it, then surely I can. So a friend of mine, my mentor, my friend Juven, he was, at the time, Nelson Mandela's bodyguard, but also my mentor. My dad left when I was 10 years old. Juven's father left when he was 10 years old. Remember what I said, that I am because we are. If you cry, I cry. If you rejoice, I rejoice. It's about a collective and it's not about the individual. And Juven came alongside of me every week, twice a week, journey with me, bringing the best out of me because he understood what it was to live without a father. So he became my big brother. And when he told me about Nelson Mandela would ask every person that he connects with, he would ask your name, your family, he would really be interested in you. And so I'd never met Nelson Mandela, but every time that Juven came to me sharing about the spirit of Ubuntu, I said, maybe even if he didn't know me, but he doesn't know that the spirit of Ubuntu that he shares with the world has changed so many things in my mind. I'll come back to this guy. Russell is the Starter Academy. The spirit of Ubuntu is in him as well. He's got his rugby academy in South Africa. And ever since a young age, he came alongside of me. The spirit of Ubuntu is evident in these people's lives. And for me, I became this guy. He's one of those crazy friends that will throw you in the deep end and then laugh about it. I remember we had an award ceremony with the then mayor of Cape Town, Mr. Ibrahim Rasool. And his academy had this award ceremony. And I remember on Tuesday, we went to the parliament to organize this whole event. And they asked him, who's going to be the MC? I was there when he said it. He said he's got an MC for the night. I said, Russell, who's going to be the MC? Don't worry about that. Wednesday, who's going to be the MC? I got him. Thursday, who's going to be the MC? I got this sorted. On Saturday morning, he picked me up. And I asked him again, do you have the MC? He says, I got the MC. And he says, on the back seat there is a clipboard. Could you just memorize that for me? I said, why should I memorize it? And he said, because you are the MC. And that's 20 minutes away from the event. I was so mad at him. I went to the toilet and just screamed, came out. And the mayor of Cape Town said, Ricardo, I would love you to be the MC for every year. See, a mentor is somebody that sees the treasure in you even if you can't see it. So any youth practitioner, I'm talking about parents, teachers, sports coaches, social workers, anybody that inspires young people, when we have the approach of Ubuntu, it can change this generation and generations to come. I've never met Nelson Mandela, but I'm standing here still walking in the same spirit of Ubuntu that he revealed and released across the world. I'm going to share one story about a young person that I work with. Journeying with him has been tough. But you see, the spirit of Ubuntu is if you win, I win. If you lose, I lose, and we'll find a way together how to make it work. See, I never give up on people. We should never give up, particularly on young people, especially after the pandemic and what they've been through. They need role models and mentors in their lives. But this young boy, he's 15 years old, 3 months journeying with him, making him understand the spirit of Ubuntu. That what I'm giving you today needs to transcend 2 generations to come. That you can make the change today. So we journeyed, and then he got it. His marks started going up. His attendance is early. He's there, he's ready to go, and he's in the behavior unit. I don't believe in that behavior unit. If you just teach these young people that Ubuntu, that they have a part to play in society. Not only did he change, he lives with his father changed, the people at his father's work changed, his friends changed, and that is the spirit of Ubuntu. So I want to leave you with 2 things. If you are a youth practitioner, Number one is to create an environment of community. I don't know if you watched on Britain's Got Talent, the kids, the ghetto kids from Uganda. They smile. They're very happy. They got the golden buzzer while they were still performing. But one kid said, if one cry, all of us cry. If one win, all of us win. And when they got that golden buzzer, it was a joy. As youth practitioners, we need to create a safe space of community and connection and belonging. See, I learned so much from young people that I give to other young people, because I show them that they are just as important as I am, and I can learn just as much from them as they learn from me. And the second thing, the spirit of Ubuntu is it's collaboration. That word collaboration is so important. It's discovering what somebody else got and find ways of how you can give them opportunities through your social media or your social capital, so to speak. Collaboration is very, very important. And when we can let young people know, not only we as mentors are givers, but we are also receivers. And that we can also learn from their insight, their feedback, and their perspectives. Because we're all trying to teach them the spirit of Ubuntu. So, I'm going to give you an opportunity as I'm closing, as to do it a little bit of African. So I want you to turn to the person next to you and just tell them, Ubuntu. Now tell the person on the other side, because the person on the other side might feel out. Tell them, Ubuntu. And that is what I want to encourage us. I want you to go away with that in your mind, that each one of you play your part in your own spheres that you have. And as you go away tonight, I hope and pray that even if you sleep, you still hear Ubuntu. Thank you, everyone.